pronounce your last name?
Catania.
Catania, welcome. Happy Friday, everyone. This is Kat Trelinos with Tada by Kat Next Level Staging and Design. And if you're interested in living by design and intentional, you've come to the right place, because I have an amazing guest this morning, Miss Sadie Catania. She is, well, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Sadie, take it away and welcome.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much. It's an incredible platform, and you're such an incredible person. So thank you so much for inviting me to chat.
And I didn't pay her to say that.
She didn't. That's totally organic, just like everything else she does.
Yes, organic.
So I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I specialize in functional nutrition and integrative care, which just basically means a holistic approach to treating the whole human, their whole story, their whole life, leaving no stone unturned. So we consider the heart, the soul, the mind, the body, and we create an integrative care plan based on that, including diagnostic testing. We marry all of that information together to help people optimize their health and well-being.
And today, thank you for that, Sadie. And today we're going to talk about what I think many women and men, because men have hormones too, is your hormones, and seeing the world through the lens of hormones. And we're going to add on to that, because it all, back to the holistic sleep. So if you've ever had trouble sleeping, and, my gosh, the more I delve into it, sleep is not just, oh, I didn't get some good sleep, this and that, and blow it off. This is when our body repairs. This is when it heals, when it regenerates, et cetera. So sleep is critical, and Sadie's going to talk about how hormones, gut-brain health, and sleep are all integrated. And hopefully we can take away maybe some top tips through the course of this that our viewers can take away and take action today.
Yes.
Of course, they can contact you, and we'll share your contact information if they'd like more in-depth.
Sure, yeah.
But let's just dive right into it. Let's start off with the balance or imbalance of hormones. What can that affect? What are some of the side effects, Sadie, of having an imbalance in your hormones?
Right. Yes. Everything, every single thing, from your interactions with your children, how you feel on your drive to and from work, how you feel about your significant other, if you feel connected or detached from them. A lot of times we blame a lot of other things. And coming from a holistic mindset, everything matters, everything is important. But the topic, the title of our talk today, hormones are the lens through which we view the world. It really sums it all up. So if you had, like, you're probably familiar with the phrase through rose-colored glasses. So, if your hormones are imbalanced, you really will see the world a little bit more through rose-colored glasses. Everything will be a little bit easier, a little bit more beautiful. You'll feel a little calmer. You'll feel a little more connected, or a lot more connected. And so I wanted to share a story, and it's a very personal story. And I think that this is a great place to do that, because you're so authentic and you want, people to hear the truth.
Yes. And I hope you're going into a little bit of your story, because I really I would really like people to, relate, or maybe know someone to relate on what prompted you to get into this field.
Yeah, thank you. So many things, so many health struggles, but this story in particular really showcases the power of hormones. And nothing happens in a vacuum in our body, in our life. And when things are out of balance, we really have to take a very broad viewpoint on what could be at play. So this story is from my personal life, and it's a vulnerable story, but I want to share it in case someone hears it and thinks, could that be true for me too? Because if it is, that could change your whole life. So there was a point in my over the last decade, where I was struggling with a lot of health issues, and I was also struggling in my marriage a great deal. Like it was really hard. I wasn't sure that we were going to come out on the other side of it. I wasn't sure I wanted to come out on the other side of it. I was really in a dark place. And so I went to the doctor, and this is before I had training, and he ran labs, and he said, well, your thyroid is really out of balance. Let's get you taken care of there. And so that took a lot of experimentation. I'm not on thyroid medication anymore. I'm completely off of it, but I needed it at that time, and thank God for it. So I got on thyroid medication, and within 3 days, my perspective on my marriage completely changed. Now, the problems in my marriage didn't change. The challenges in our life didn't change. We had a baby and a toddler, and I was very, very sick. We had very little support. It was a hard time. Nothing else changed but the balance of my thyroid. And
so
all of
that real quickly, I want folks to know, because in your paper here, you talk about, that hormones are often thought of as sex hormones and balancing, and according to you, that's not the case. It can be thyroid, your testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, adrenal glands,
hormones, blood sugar regulation hormones. Yeah, and so to broaden when we hear hormones, I think most of us instantly think of estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, the sex hormones, which those are very important, but there are hormones touch every area of our body, and they, for the most part, they are stimulated or produced starting in the brain, in the hypothalamus and in the pituitary gland. And those two parts of our brain communicate with the rest of the endocrine organs in our body, like our thyroid, our pancreas, which controls blood sugar regulation, our parathyroid gland, our adrenals, our ovaries, our testes, even cats. I think that this is so fun and fascinating to share. Our fat, our adipose tissue, is an endocrine organ. Our fat tissue actually produces cortisol, estrogen. So the more fat adipose tissue that we carry, the more likely that we can have hormone dysregulation. And by hormones, like you said, I appreciate you bringing that to attention, is that when I say hormones, I don't just mean our sex hormones. I mean our pancreatic hormones that control blood sugar, our adrenal hormones that control DHEA, epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol, the stress hormone. So that's what I mean by hormones. Now, the thyroid is responsible for many, many things and has a dramatic impact on our brain. So when I stabilized my thyroid, everything in my perspective shifted. And that was so profound for me. I thought nothing changed, just my thyroid.
Thyroid briefly, because many people, I'm not going to say most, but many people are aware that once you start taking thyroid or thyroxine, you have to take it your entire life, which many people do. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends, right? It depends on what the cause of your thyroid dysfunction is. For me, it was related to my pituitary gland and my brain. My perception of stress and the stress that I was experiencing was having.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because it
perception.
Really comes down to control your thoughts, control your life, change your thoughts, change your life. Folks have heard me talk about Dr. Dispenza before. I love he marries the science with the what some people would think is woo-woo. It's not woo-woo.
It's science.
Our thoughts actually can make our bodies change, react, feel, etc.
Right.
And one really simple but profound example, and many gurus that I follow have given this example, is think of a lemon.
Okay. Yes. Right. Yes.
The lemon, and describe a lemon, and you're cutting into a lemon, and you're putting it in your mouth.
Salivating already.
Yeah. I mean, I'm salivating already.
And there's no lemon. And there's no lemon.
We haven't seen a lemon. We haven't cut a lemon. We haven't tasted a lemon.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, it's the magic of our thoughts.
Yes. And that really is very beginning of all of our work with clients. All of our work with clients begins, we take a north to south approach on everything that we touch. So starting in the most northern region, your brain. So for me, once I was able to, and going back to what you say, just to piggyback on what you said about perception. So a lot of times when I work with clients, we can't change what's going on in their life, but we can change their perception of it. And just that shift in perception, that reframe around circumstances that we can't change, has such a profound impact on their brain. And then it has a downstream effect on all of their hormones. So when we bring in things into a client's world, whether it's supplements or we refer them out to be prescribed medication that they truly need, our goal is for those things to be very temporary while we correct diet, lifestyle, movement, perception, mindset. So we do a lot of coaching. We do a lot of mindset coaching. We offer a lot of support, and we really just help people slow down, calm down, support their nervous systems, support their brains. And then, of course, we work on sleep. It's my favorite thing, probably. I don't know what my favorite thing is. Sleep, hormones, God help.
Before we go into sleep, and how we do on time here, before we go into sleep, before we kind of exit the hormone, and I know they're integrative, but what would be the first step? Obviously someone who is perimenopausal or menopausal or post or what have you is going to know that they're going through some hormonal changes.
Sure, yeah.
But what would be the first, what would be something that you would suggest to someone that they could do themselves?
Yeah, of course, yes. Yes, I thank you for that question. I love that question. And I want to throw a little physiology in there. So when we are perimenopausal, through menopause and postmenopause, our ovaries stop producing estrogen at the rate that they were producing it during our cycling years. And guess what takes over the production of that? Our adrenal glands. So our adrenal glands then become responsible for our level of estrogen in our body. So taking really good care of our brain to adrenal, it's called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, will take care of a lot of symptoms that occur in perimenopause and menopause because we're supporting the adrenals. We're allowing them to produce the maximum amount of estrogen that they can during that pivotal transition, second puberty. And really it starts in the brain. So to give actionable steps is to take care of yourself, to slow down, to infuse every corner that you can in your life with breath work, just even 3 deep breaths before every meal, learning to sit down for meals, slow down, take warm baths before bed, getting into a bedtime routine, having a strong evening routine and morning routine. So all of these things, I know that they sound a little cliche and oh, how will that, impact my hormones? Dramatically, because hormone production or lack thereof or dysregulation of it starts in our brain. So if we can calm our nervous systems, calm our brain, then it will have a downstream cascading effect. So to, simplify it, just building in strong recharge rituals into your day. A morning recharge ritual, it can take 3 minutes. An evening recharge ritual, 15 to 20. And then you build on that over time. And I'm, absolutely you can do this on your own. There are so many books. If you follow our Instagram, we'll be recommending books over time that will support this. We love to help people bits and pieces at a time. So we'll answer questions on social media. If you have questions about specifically what you could do, we'd love to go back and forth with you on that. And then just roll
self-care. And I'm sure on your website you have something about that. In fact, I'm having a guest in the next 2 weeks who works in the mental health industry and others. Yeah, who's going to have some forms on that. But self-care, it's so important. And you can customize it because no two people are alike. No schedules are alike.
Right.
What they're dealing with is alike. History, etc. But intentional self-care.
Yes.
I myself practice something called 4 squared.
Yes.
And it's, 2, 1 in, hold it for another 4, exhale like you're blowing through a straw for 4, and then another 4. I do that
I love that one.
40, 50 times a day.
I love that.
Driving is the perfect time.
It is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 1, there's stress out there. And number 2, you have time between lights and driving and everything. You can, you're to yourself. There's no distractions, besides paying attention to the road. So self-care, whatever that means to you. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have someone on here real soon on breath work, because there's many yogic, which 4-4 or 4 squared is a type of yogic, but there's different types of breath work. Whatever resonates with you is the best, and more importantly, whichever one that you do.
Right. Yeah, the one that is sustainable to you.
It's like someone said years ago, someone had asked my little brother, about diet, what diet works? This is like 30 years ago. It's like the one that you do.
Yep. The one that you can stick with consistently. Yes.
Life change. But whatever regime in self-care, and it's all self-care, what we put in our mouth, what we do with our bodies, what we do with our breath, what we do starting here with our thoughts, because thoughts become things. So thank you for that. Someone asked a question. It's out of the blue, but I never heard of it. Someone asked, I can't catch their name, so sorry, I can't. But what do you think about ear twisting?
Oh, just as a mode of like parasympathetic, or for vagal stimulation? Is that what
the person didn't say? Personally, I used to have my brothers and sisters pull my ears. I'm a trained massage therapist, and when I go to get a massage anymore, if they don't do massages anymore, if they don't do my ears, I always want them to massage my ears. And I'm sure it does have to do with the vagal tone. It just resets your vagus.
And sensory too. If someone else is doing it, then that's a sensory reception. But if you're doing it yourself, that's sensory as well. My little girl used to twist my ear all night long to put herself to sleep.
And like some little kids twist their hair. She
twisted my ear. And she'll still, when she would nurse, she would just twist and twist. So I would say, as an answer to that if it feels good, you're headed in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah. As far as the science goes,
certainly, how do you feel after that? If it feels good and you feel refreshed and it's a good feeling, then I would have someone do it, or you can self also.
Keep that, and really just again, I know that this is your whole world and everything that you stand for, but what we're after is reconnecting with our bio-individual innate wisdom about what is right for us, what is true for us, what we need as individuals, as unique as our fingerprints, to help us stabilize and come into our fullest potential. That is different for everybody, and only you have that answer. We can help facilitate to help you get those answers more quickly, to help you sustain the changes that you desire in your life, to help pan out and see a broader perspective of things. But you truly do already have the answers to what it is you need.
People think that whether it's a therapist, a physical therapist, psychological, whatever, that no one's doing anything. You're doing it. They're giving you tools,
holding space,
and permission.
They're
giving you permission. To be your full potential self and live your best life. So thanks for that, Sadie. Let's go into sleep, because I know many people, with the harried lives that we live and scheduling and electronics, and there's a lot of stuff in there that we can dialogue about to optimize, the best sleep, so that you can get that restorative rejuvenation and wake up. Because if you're waking up and you're feeling, wow, I didn't sleep, that you're open for some improvement. So talk to us about about sleep and what.
Yeah. Anybody who knows me that's listening is like, oh no, they need another couple hours because I love sleep so much and it's so imperative and central. When a client comes to me, if they're not sleeping, it's the first thing we work on. But I just put together my top 7 tips for the sake of time to really, these are just, and just to clarify, everything that we do in our practice is evidence-based. We run an evidence-based practice. And of course, there are many different forms of evidence. There's research-based evidence, clinical evidence, and this is what we see work consistently 100% of the time, evidence. Right. So there's wisdom and experience.
So let's go through those. What are the 7 tips that you share with our audience on sleep? So important.
Yes. And this, give it 30 days of consistency, but you'll see an incredible improvement probably within the first 2 weeks. Okay, so light, temperature, and rhythm are the 3 top things.
Light, temperature, and what?
Rhythm. So that's the overarching idea of what I'm about to share. Okay, so first of all, temperature. I could go on and on about this, but I'll just give you the nuts and the bolts. So you want to drop the temperature of the house to between 65 and 68 degrees at night. And that shocks a lot of people, but this is the optimum temperature for human rest, for deep human rest. And of course, there can be some things to work out around this. So that's where professionals come in. So if you're like, I can't sleep, it's too cold, or, my partner can't sleep at that temperature, these are things that we can help you work through. But drop the temperature of the house 1 to 2 hours before bed between 65 and 68 degrees. Start cooling down the house, cooling down your body temperature.
You said 65 and 68?
Yep, 65 to 68 degrees.
Yeah, and depending on how new or old your home is, that could be, because we're in an older home and we have to kind of struggle with that. What might feel like 68 for us could be different for a newer
home. Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
ours is at 65, but I don't feel like it's 65. Because our home is older. And then the second most important tip, trick, mechanism for deep human restorative sleep is light therapy. So dark therapy and bright light therapy. So you want to eliminate all sources of blue light 2 hours before bedtime. So hopefully you're going to bed somewhere between 9:30 and 10:30, 11 at the very latest. So let's just pick on 11. So if it's 11 o'clock, you eliminate all sources of blue light at 9 p.m. If you cannot do that for whatever reason, wear a pair of blue blockers. It's really just the simple. My whole house, my children wear blue blockers. Nobody watches TV after dark without blue blockers. The stove has a blue light on it. So there are a multitude of sources of blue light all around us. Even things that we think are insignificant are significant to your brain. And I won't get into the science.
That's a really good point. I keep seeing this thing on blue blockers. I'm like, what is that all about?
Yes.
They're just a clear lens, right?
No. And see, that's really important to remember. So there are blue blockers that are great for wearing during the day to protect your eye and retina from the screen, from the intense blue light of a screen during the day. But these specifically are orange colored or amber colored lenses. And I believe I have them. I do have them on my website and my shop. You can pick them up.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, from Amazon.
What about people who, like myself?
Yes. They have that. Now, the ones on my website are super affordable. They're like $20. But I will send you a link, and I'll put a link on there for the ones that fit right over your glasses. Oh yes, they have them for all. There's no avoidance of this one. There's no excuse you can find. There's cool looking ones, trendy looking ones for children, ones that fit over your glasses. There's ones for sensitive people, so there's a blue blocker for everybody.
So let's talk about, what is the top 1 or 2 reasons that one would want to invest in $20 in a blocker light?
Yes. Thank you. Again, I could go on and on, but let me just give you the nuts and the bolts. Yes. So basically, from the moment that your eyes receive the last bit of blue light, your brain will take 2 hours to reach the amount of melatonin necessary for you to achieve deep sleep. This is a big deal. So if you look at your screen just to set your alarm at 10 o'clock at night, and you spend like 15 seconds, like shutting things down, and 30 seconds, let's just say science says 30 seconds, shutting things down, you will not hit deep. You may fall asleep, but you will not achieve deep REM sleep for at least 2 hours after.
Okay, that is so significant. And I am so going to get some blockers, Sadie. This was
so yes.
Yes. Because,
and, yes.
Well, I was going to say, because I sleep to frequencies.
Okay. Yes.
Healing frequencies. Yes. And it puts me to sleep really. Yes. I have it on most of the night on my head, on my headset. But I didn't realize I'm asleep, but I may not be in deep sleep. So for folks who don't know, the REM, or rapid eye movement, and deep sleep, it is only then that your body is healing. So you might be asleep. So, hey, I slept 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it was, but I don't feel rested. Well, there's
Yes. You nailed it. And you're missing. So you have different, you should rotate through 4 to 5 full rounds of all of the different stages of sleep per night. And if you miss just one round, it can have a profound impact on your physiology, hormones, right? And happiness and really cellular health, mitochondria, energy production. I mean, there's no untouched mechanism in the body. And what's interesting is a lot of people, my husband being one of them, he's my hardest client of all of my life. I love him. It's good training, but it is hard. So he refuses the blue blockers a lot, and he isn't tired when he wakes up, right? Like he gets up, but he's running on adrenaline, Kat. He's running on adrenaline, and he mistakes that for energy. And then at 12 or 2 or 3, he's like, ugh. And he's exhausted. And that is because of that lack of deep restorative sleep. He doesn't have the energy to carry him through the entire day. So a lot of people will be like, I fly out of bed at 5 a.m. I'm totally fine. I'm like, that's great. That's probably adrenaline. That's very addicting. That is not natural energy deep, because you should get out of bed and feel calm, energetic, vibrant, clear, not anxious or nervous. You should
you should take your time with
you should be like, I'm ready. So I hope that was helpful. Okay. And then awesome. Tip number 3 is this goes into, well, there's a little bit more. So that's dark therapy, right? That's actually a therapy.
And I want to mention something on that as well. You want to be aware of, like, if you have an alarm, like I have an alarm clock, I flip it down.
Yes.
Because that LCD screen,
yes, ma'am.
Too much light.
Yes, ma'am.
Even like the alarm that we have, like in the bedroom, you have a pad.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so cover it.
But cover it with some masking tape.
Yes. The smoke alarm light, cover it. Mm-hmm. Cover everything. There. I mean, like you have to sleep, and that's tip number 5. In complete and total darkness.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in.
Oh, no. I love this. It's amazing. But if you can see your hand in front of your face, it's not dark enough.
Yeah.
That's your test. And I would love to introduce you to something called a sunrise alarm clock. It's pitch black at night. And then at your designated wake time, it starts to light up, and with the spectrum of a sunrise. And it just gently and slowly illuminates at the pace of a normal sunrise.
Very cool. Can we get that on your website?
I need to put it on there, but I'll give you a link to put on your show.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. And you can even charge your phone right on it, and it can wake you up with like birds and, it's so gentle and lovely. Okay, so tip number 3 is
great Christmas gift. To put that on. Great Christmas.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we should do a Christmas fun, healthy Christmas gift.
Fun, healthy gadgets for Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
I see an episode.
Please. Oh my gosh, please make me a part of it. I have so many gadgets that I love. But they're not all necessary. We can just use, natural.
Yeah. But some might resonate with some people, some might resonate with someone else. So I'm all into that. If you're going to have gadgets, electronics, why not be fun and healthy?
Yeah, let them be supportive. Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay. And then tip number 3 is to if you don't like baths, it's totally fine. You can take a warm shower, but you want to warm up your body and then get out and let it naturally cool way, way down. And the whole idea behind warming it up first is that it's a much more pronounced drop in temperature, which triggers internal mechanisms that tell your body that, like, the temperature is dropping and it's time to sleep. So when we warm up our body and get out to that cooled down space, then the drop is much more pronounced, and our like tired, like heavy eyelids will come much more quickly than if.
So how does that play in, Sadie, with the craze on the cold plunges, or even cold? I don't need another thing in my backyard for a cold plunge.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'll do the cold shower.
Yeah.
Cold shower, and then the cold shower.
Yes.
So how is that different than just letting your body naturally, because that's supposed to be restorative to do a cold shower after
a hot shower. Yeah, you're 100% right. And there's so many mechanisms that play there, from GABA to serotonin to dopamine. And
so either one is good.
You can do either one. Like, there's no hard there. With me, you will never find a hard rule. Like, that's not how human physiology works. That's not what bioindividuality is. That's not everything against what I stand for. None of these are hard, fast rules, but you have to come to see us for us to help you work out your bio-individual needs.
So I'm just asking.
Again, you can do it that way. You can take a hot shower.
Which one is more
natural?
Natural. Which one is more effective for restoration?
You're going to love this. You're going to love this answer. The one that is more effective for you.
Okay.
And the one that is sustainable for you. So some people will never take that cold shower. They will never take it. So
it's hard for me to do.
It's hard.
It's noisy.
It's sad. You have to
I'm screaming.
Yeah, talk your way through it. My kids will come in and cheer me on, like, "Go, Mom, go!" So
my daughter Tanya and I, we did there was a coupon, and we did the cryo. We did.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The massage. We did the cryo. She loved it. I loved it too. I got through the 3 minutes or whatever. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
It resonated with her though. Yeah, and because she loved it so much, it's probably like moved towards that, right? Like
for her.
Yeah,
trying to find a place nearby, because this one was not, wasn't. So trying to.
Yes. Yeah, and the cryo is not for everybody. Hyperbaric oxygen chamber isn't for everybody. Infrared saunas aren't for everybody. But for some people, they are life-giving, life-saving.
What is that one? I've heard
hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That one was one that I swear saved us during COVID.
Really?
Yes, it's contraindicated for a lot of people. You have to be really careful. It's definitely not one of those things that I recommend for everybody. There's very specific circumstances in which I would make that recommendation for lung health or brain health. Neurological struggles.
What kind of struggle?
Neurological, brain fog, but depending on you, like I couldn't even recommend it in a blanket way, because it could be dangerous for some people. Healing, so people who have wounds that don't heal very well, people who are sick frequently. We could do a whole session on hyperbaric oxygen chamber, and you should probably get someone else, because I'm by no means an expert on that. But I've used it for my family, and I've recommended to very certain clients, very specific circumstances. Gotcha. But yeah, so there is no one modality that is right for everybody. So I remember when I worked for Lifetime Fitness a million years ago, my boss, he was just like, the key to sleep. He was like a Marine, and he was like, just so hard. Even he treated us like Marines. He was like, the key to sleep is a freezing cold shower followed by a freezing hot bath or a boiling hot bath followed by a freezing cold shower. Do this every night. Don't ask questions. And I was like, he was amazing. That was 20 years ago. He was so ahead of the time.
Yeah.
But, I was like, I'm never doing that, Earl. I'm never doing that. But I do it now. But I prefer the Epsom salt bath with the candle and the lava. Yeah.
That's a standard in my business. My team knows, okay, after sweating in 120 degrees.
Yeah.
It's time for an Epsom salt bath. And
yes. Oh my gosh. And you're restoring your electrolytes. Yes. You're like infusing your body with magnesium.
So for those of you who don't know, talk just briefly, and we're about 5 minutes over.
I'm sorry.
About 10 minutes over. But talk to us about that, because that's so simple that somebody could do to restore if they're having, let's say, some heat struggle. And you know, this, I mean, I ended up in emergency last year with being overheated. They thought it was heart. My heart was perfectly healthy. It was simply heat, exhaustion. So talk to us about Epsom salt, because you know that's that up in the grocery store.
So
I
easy.
recommend you don't get the one with the lavender.
I agree.
Put your own essential oils.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
doTERRA or living. Essential living.
Young living or something. Yes.
But so that's an easy fix, and you started to talk about that helps replace balance our electrolytes. Yeah, it can be balanced when we're heat exhausted, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, in magnesium, I'm pretty sure most of us are insufficient at the least, if not frankly deficient in magnesium. And our skin, being a lovely organ that protects us from things, also welcomes in and absorbs things. Not always great things. So it also absorbs in toxins. So we have to be careful about that. But it is a great way to restore your magnesium balance. Magnesium is one of those things that instantly is a stress reducing mineral. It's just stress reducing. Like you think stress reduction, magnesium should be the first thing that comes to mind.
That is the one vitamin that my daughter, who suffers with bipolar, I don't know if you're watching, Sarah. She takes magnesium. We had and I think I've mentioned this on a show before. She was here at my house and went into a seizure, and I keep liposomal liquid magnesium. You want to be careful with magnesium unless you're doing it something like this, like a healing situation for a seizure, because your magnesium and calcium need to be balanced. So I have a calcium magnesium liposomal that's mixed, because those need to be balanced. But the magnesium, as you mentioned, is stress. It softens all of the electrical currents, which that's what's happening when you have a seizure, is all the electrical currents are going haywire. I gave her like a quadruple dose because she was in seizure.
Yes.
Within 15 minutes, she was out of seizure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
is amazing.
Wow. I mean,
magnesium,
I'm like, okay, I know this smooths, the muscle and helps it.
Yes.
It works.
But it surprised even you. You knew what you were doing, but it even
I knew in theory, but I'd never seen to that degree.
Yes. It's called the miracle mineral, because now you can overdo it, right? Like all good things, like even water, you can hurt yourself. You can throw your calcium off of balance. You can throw many things out of whack. You can take.
So you don't want to take high doses of magnesium without balancing with your calcium.
Yes. And there are particular there are certain magnesiums for certain situations. So sometimes a glycinate will be best, sometimes a malate, a citrate. And so that all is like and I wish so much I could blanket statement everything, and everything was cookie cutter and there was a one answer fits all, but everybody is so unique. These are just ideas, and you can talk to your doctor about them. I always recommend talking to your doctor to make sure it makes sense for you and your medications or health issues. Because magnesium can be contraindicated in some circumstances. It's rare and it's usually a certain kind. But
so great. That's great. I don't mean to cut you.
No. I know we're running out of
minutes. So is there another point on the sleep?
Yes. Okay. So the top tips are: drop the temperature of the house 65 to 68 degrees 1 to 2 hours before bed. Eliminate all sources of blue light 1 to 2 hours before bed. Take a warm bath or shower 30 minutes to an hour before bed. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is go to bed at the same exact time every night, like a 30-minute deviation. That's it. That's same exact time. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is sleep in complete darkness. If you can see your hand in front of your face, it's not dark enough. All of this applies to your children. All of this applies to your children. All of this applies to your children. Like, I just can't tell you that enough. So sleep in complete darkness. And then eventually the goal is to wake up without an alarm within about an hour of sunrise. And again, everybody's different. Everybody's unique. That will vary person to person. You may need an alarm for a long time until you restore your natural circadian rhythms, which is what we're after, is just a restoration of healthy circadian rhythm. almost every cell and organ in our body has its own circadian clock. So restoring your circadian rhythm will restore function to so many systems, organs, and cells in your body.
I play a game. Oh, I'm sorry. The last one.
The last tip. Yeah. The last tip is when you get out of bed with your alarm or without, but you want to try aim for the same time every morning until you're just waking up naturally, is to go and get bright natural sunlight in your eyes within the first 30 minutes of waking for about 30 minutes. So go sit next to a window, get all of that full spectrum light into your eyes. If you're waking up in the dark because you have to, go turn on all of the lights in the kitchen, sit there and stare at them, just get bright light into your eyes, because you're retraining your brain, you're resetting your circadian rhythm, and bright light and movement are going to help speed up that process. So that's my 7 tips, and I can give them to you and you can post them for simplicity.
Yeah, send me a PDF and I'll have Jeff, when he posts this, does a read. So before we sign off here, how can folks get a hold of you if they want to reach you? What's the best way?
We just had an amazing young lady join our team who's a nutrition coach and training. She just set us up on all of our social media accounts. Her name is Lauren Turner. And so Lauren has set us up on social media. Please reach out to us there. I can give you all that list. But if you go to our website, there's links to everything.
Yeah, and why don't you give the folks your website?
It's Foundational Wellness Solutions with an S.com. And you can sign up for a free consultation if any of this resonates with you and you want to do deeper. We do hormone testing, of course. We do circadian rhythm testing. We can tell you what's happening with your circadian rhythm, your melatonin, and that helps us course correct much more quickly. So we do lots of testing if necessary and if desired. If not, we just work with you naturally. And so you can sign up for a free consultation. You can reach out to us on social media. We would so love to help you, so love to hear from you. And I hope that this was helpful.
Such great information. So it's
Foundational Wellness Solution.
Oh, foundational. It's a long one. Okay.
I know.
Foundational.
I know.
Jeff is probably I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. If I can type without doing that. Foundational Wellness
Solutions with an S. And really, I landed on that because the foundations of health and wellness are everything. We start with the foundations. We don't start with crazy protocols and crazy supplements. We start with the basics. And honestly, so much falls away when we correct those things. So
I like that.
The foundations are everything.
Awesome. I love, that it's that what you're all about is holistic, and you're very detail oriented. And I think that's really important.
You've experienced that on our long calls.
Exactly. And but again, it's down to what is the client comfortable with.
Yes.
And I like to work with that. So
and I did want to say I'm so sorry. I think this is really important to mention. We do have other practitioners who specialize in certain things. Christina works amazingly with whole family health and wellness, helping you restore your entire household. And so does Sandra. And Sandra, she's as passionate about hormones as I am, if not more passionate. And she speaks Spanish and can work with the exclusive Spanish speaking community. So if you have someone,
how is it different besides the gal that speaks Spanish? What is it they offer that's different than what you offer, or is it just part of your team?
They're part of our team. We can do everything. Yeah, we have the 3 of us. If there's something that one of us isn't familiar with, we consult with the other. It really brings a powerhouse of skill set and knowledge all to one table for you. So when you work with us, you really have a whole team of professionals on your case.
So a wealth of knowledge. If you're struggling with hormone issues, just general health issues, and or sleeping issues, which I think we all have from time to time, we're going to be posting the tips, the 7 tips. And do reach out to Sadie.
Thank you, Kat, so much for having me. This was so much fun.
It was. Thank you so much. Just a plethora of knowledge. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to have you back soon, probably later this year.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
A couple of topics already.
Yes, let's do it. I love being with you. I love everything about you and what you do and what you stand for. You just make my day every time.
You're so sweet. More to come, and Sadie will be back. Again, thank you so much. This is Kat with Set Up Like Kat. As always, stay positive, stay hopeful, and stay connected. And thank you so much for connecting with me and Sadie today. And we'll talk to you soon. Y'all have a great, super fantastic